Tonight, petrol prices soar ahead of the long weekend, and Whyalla residents urged to dig deep this weekend for Kangaroo Island.
With the latest from around the region, your nightly news with John Hunt begins now.
Good evening. The RAA says a spike in fuel prices across the region will see motorists slugged an extra $30 to fill the tank. It comes as many families prepare to hit the road for the long weekend.
Popping open the fuel cap looks set to be costly this week. As fuel prices skyrocket, motorists are feeling the pinch.
Oh yeah, well when you do, that's for sure. Yep, and they don't put it up by 2 cents either.
Port Lincoln on average is sitting at $1.52, one of the highest prices for unleaded petrol in regional South Australia.
Every little bit helps nowadays. Bloody try and save for petrol, yeah.
Motorists coughing up an extra $30 for a large four-wheel drive, an extra $26 for a medium-sized SUV, and $23 for your average family sedan.
No, well they should let the pensioners know so they can rise the pension, that'd be a lot better.
Adelaide motorists are also being slugged with high prices, around a 30% jump in unleaded from this time last year.
You know, Adelaide and that, gee, it's a big price difference over there, like, you know, all 70 cents a litre sometimes, you know, you can't work out where it's coming from, you know.
If you're heading over to Adelaide for the Australia Day long weekend, then you're probably better off to fill up at home.
The RAA says international fuel issues and the trade war between the US and China are partly to blame, but say the spike ahead of the long weekend is driven by retailers trying to catch motorists out.
The price spikes you start to see in the city, they're artificial. It's got nothing to do with the real cost of that fuel.
The RAA says the government should introduce real-time fuel pricing to increase competition and drive down the price.
People, especially in the regions, for the first time can actually see what the fuel prices of every outlet in their town is and go to the cheapest one.
Nathan Regter, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
A recent string of break-ins has prompted Broken Hill Police to warn local residents about opportunistic thieves. Officers saying there's a number of things that can be done to avoid becoming a victim.
While the Christmas period was a time for giving, for some it was a time for taking.
We have had an increase in break-and-enters across Broken Hill over the last couple of months.
Broken Hill Police say it's unfortunate as break-ins do occur more often during the holidays. But with many victims leaving their homes unattended, officers say thieves are smarter than you think.
People that aren't the best pillars of society, they know that if those gates are shut, there's no car there, you know, the lawn's starting to get a bit overgrown or whatever, you know, they're not home.
Recent victims have seen thousands of dollars of their property stolen, including electronics, jewellery and musical equipment. With another long weekend fast approaching, police are urging locals to take precautions.
They've got CCTV cameras, make sure they turn them on, make sure the houses are locked. They've got someone coming around regularly to check the house, as well as emptying the letterbox or having your mail redirected while you're away.
And there's even a few instances where not doing anything also works.
Not changing things that you would normally do in regards to, you know, things like that. So if you would normally leave your front gates open and things like that, maybe don't change that.
Police have praised the community for providing information about recent crimes. They encourage anyone who sees anything suspicious to call Crime Stoppers. Patrick Reinke, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
Whyalla Steelworks may soon be carbon friendly, powered solely by renewable energy. Owner Sanjeev Gupta announced his vision to make all of his steel plants environmentally friendly by 2030 at the World Economic Forum in Switzerland. He aims for them to run solely on recycled scrap metal, using hydrogen instead of carbon to process ore. Steelmaking is currently one of the world's most greenhouse-intensive industries. Broken Hill experienced one of its worst dust storms in recent memory yesterday. The dust cloud rolled in around lunchtime, plunging the city into a brown haze, cutting visibility to drivers. The storm didn't pass until late last night, the whole event lasting almost 10 hours. Strong wind gusts brought down trees, but no major property damage was recorded. The new NBN Regional Development Officer has toured the region, meeting with local businesses in Port Lincoln. With the rollout now complete on the Eyre Peninsula, retailers say they're reaping the rewards.
They're one of Port Lincoln's business success stories, Boston Bean attracting tourists and visitors from across the nation. The owners relied on their industrial-sized roaster to help keep up with high demand.
That was one thing we wanted to make sure of when we started, was that we can keep up with the supply for the demand, and also making sure that the quality is always there.
The business is connected to the NBN, which they say has been instrumental to their success.
From a small business point of view, we're really lucky to have the NBN on board. This roaster can be started from a home.
The machine can also be remotely controlled by its manufacturer in California.
If we did have an issue, the great thing is to have that extra support that we can contact them, because the last thing you want to do is not be able to roast beans. It's not that easy just to get another machine like this.
It's a local business's way of using high-speed internet to their advantage. The NBN's Regional Development Officer today got a chance to see these innovations.
It's just clear that there is so many positive opportunities for regional Australia, and frankly, I'm looking to steal ideas from Port Lincoln.
With the rollout complete on the Eyre Peninsula, they're now looking at the best ways to utilise the connection, setting up a regional business unit to help.
We needed to expand the number of community engagement professionals so that we've got people within communities to understand local issues and provide local solutions.
Nathan Regter, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
Still to come tonight, we meet the Port Pirie local collecting medical supplies for Kangaroo Island, and Lifeline Port Augusta in need of volunteers. Welcome back. A Port Pirie resident is doing his bit for the Kangaroo Island bushfires, collecting first aid supplies for wildlife recovery operations. He says his passion for animals has inspired him to assist.
Crucial supplies going towards a good cause. These bags of medical equipment will soon be on their way to Kangaroo Island.
Help these animals recover and eventually be released back into the wild.
This university student studies animal science, focusing on a career in reptiles and amphibians, and has a keen interest in helping animals in need. Locals say they're proud of his efforts.
Not many people his age, would go out and do something like that.
I've just always had a love for wildlife, so I just wanted to do my little bit.
Authorities say there's still a long road of recovery ahead, with the fires predicted to have destroyed tens of thousands of animals.
Kangaroo Island's wildlife is unique to the island and critically endangered in some cases, so it's important that we conserve these species while we still can.
He's calling on the community to also assist by donating any old or expired medical kits which are still useful for animals.
Any out-of-date dressing bandages, gauze bandages, saline water, betadine, anything to help out.
Given all of our outdated bandages and stuff to him.
He'll travel to KI with his donations next Thursday.
Coming in here to Spencer Golf Coaches at 61 to 63 Esmond Road.
Shari Hams, 7 Spencer Golf News.
Wyler's Westland Shopping Centre will be holding a pre-loved book sale as part of a 3-day fundraising event this long weekend. Raising money for the bushfire appeal, management say they want to help those left with nothing.
A community coming together, showing the true meaning of Aussie spirit. Whyalla Bushfire Appeal launching their first of many fundraising events.
We're raising funds for the Red Cross disaster relief and some chosen Kangaroo Island wildlife causes as well. So there'll be raffles and lots of other fundraising opportunities here at the Westland Shopping Centre.
The 3-day event will add something unique to fundraising efforts, hosting a pre-loved book fair.
We think it's a really good opportunity to be able to allow people who may not have a lot of spare cash to still be able to support such a worthwhile cause.
Stormfront Productions will be providing the entertainment.
We've got some wonderful young performers who are so excited to donate some of their time to come along and sing and help us to raise as much money as we can.
Woolworths and Coles will donate shopping bags for the pop-up store.
We've also had our fantastic retailers get on board and put on their own events that will be happening on that Saturday the 25th.
And there'll be a homemade cake stall and sausage sizzle, also raising funds.
We will have a live radio broadcast. You can expect a jumping castle, face painting. We'll have activities for the kids and we will be asking for a gold coin donation for that.
Residents looking to donate to the appeal can help by simply purchasing a book. Local businesses also encouraged to help donate products or services for the big raffle and silent auction.
We would just love the whole community of Whyalla to come on out. Even if they could just drop $1 in the tin, every little bit helps.
Sophia Contagonis, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
New billboards have been installed on the Augusta Highway, welcoming tourists to visit Port Pirie. The new instalments feature RSL Museum and regional gallery signs. There's also a billboard for the Master of Cricket competition, which will be held in March at Globe Oval. The signs have been produced by local company Pirie Signs and Designs, who say they're proud to help attract more tourists to the city. Lifeline and Port Augusta are in need of volunteers to help staff their retail space. They're calling on members of the community to donate their time and help a good cause.
It's all smiles and hugs here at Port Augusta's Lifeline shop. However, they're searching for more friendly faces to join the team.
Anyone who can donate time, just a little bit of time, whether it's an hour, it could be 4 hours a day, once a week, it could be twice a week, it doesn't matter. It all helps.
Current volunteers say helping the community is a fulfilling role.
I wanted to come to do something for the community to help out.
To be active in the community, it's rather uplifting for you. Yeah, it's good.
Hopeful to bring in new crew as soon as possible, volunteers will not only join a friendly environment, but also have the chance to learn key retail skills.
Good place to learn. You learn new skills. You learn like the checkout and things out the back and filling up the racks again and everything. Yeah, so you're learning new things every time you come.
You've got to give it a try. It's very fulfilling and it's helping.
Laura Milovanovic, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
Stay with us. A new meal service launches in Port Augusta, and Broken Hills Library upgrade making progress. The Bungala Catering Kitchen has expanded its services in Port Augusta, now offering delivery services to the elderly. It's part of a government initiative to ensure healthy, nutritious food makes it to people's doors.
It's a busy morning in the Bungala Kitchen as the crew gets ready for another day. They've launched a home delivery service thanks to a federal government grant.
We have worked very, very hard and we were able to secure some Commonwealth Home Support Program funding again from the federal government, which has allowed us to expand what we're currently doing.
Government funding has allowed the not-for-profit organisation to now deliver freshly cooked meals to elderly residents. Nutrition a key factor when designing the menus.
As you do get older, it's hard to get that intake that you need, so we like to provide a nice nutritious meal that we design fresh every day to meet the daily requirements.
The Bungala Catering Kitchen employs Aboriginal women within the Port Augusta community. They say the new delivery service is providing an extra sense of fulfilment.
You know, when you think of people with different types of illnesses like diabetes and things like that, they need nutritional food, so it just makes you feel good that you're helping or playing a small part in that.
And they're confident it will be popular around town.
So hopefully with their continued support we can expand the program, and as we do expand it will allow us to employ more of these unemployed women and provide them with opportunities as well.
Those interested in the service can contact My Aged Care for more information. Laura Milovanovic, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
Port Pirie volunteer groups are encouraged to apply for this year's round of grant applications. Local MP Jeff Brock says it's an excellent opportunity for those who give up their time to receive government support.
Certainly, all the volunteer groups out there, all the service groups out there got volunteers. Look at these grants here, go on my website and certainly put it in there because, as I say, they well and truly deserve to be recognised.
Applications close on the 31st of January. More information can be found at Jeff Brock's website. Port Pirie Council is gearing up for Australia Day celebrations, which will be held at Solomon Town Beach this Sunday. The day will kick off early at 8 a.m. with a flag-raising ceremony. Mayor Leon Stevens is encouraging all community members to attend and says it'll be a family-friendly atmosphere.
Australia Day is super important in the fact that it unites our country. It doesn't matter what country you come from, what colour you are. It's a great place to be on Australia Day just to recognise where we are.
Details of the day can be found online. Broken Hill City Council says further community feedback has inspired an updated design of the city's new library. While the project is still in its early stages, another is just weeks away from opening.
A long way off from standing tall, but council is already excited for the new library centre.
Something the community is looking for and wanting, and something Broken Hill probably hasn't had for a long time, just with that community space where you can go on a Saturday or a Sunday.
Council's plans for a library and cultural precinct behind the town hall facade is taking shape. Funding for the project is being secured and a development application in the works. A 3D fly-through of the new facility has been released to the public, but an updated one will soon be unveiled featuring elements from community consultation.
A change in the roof structure, more solar panels, batteries, so it can be completely off the grid if needed.
While the library progresses, the doors are almost open on the city's new pound. The facility situated near the airport, far away from any residential areas.
The existing pound is in a bit of a tricky location. It's in a residential area, and you also have a tourist business right across the road, so it's not ideal. It probably causes a bit of disruption.
The new pound is expected to open next month. Patrick Reinke, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
Stay with us after the break. Our fishing experts will have their weekend tips, and Britt will have the weekend weather forecast. Hello again. Port Augusta's Central Oval is looking a little greener, with work underway to lay new turf. 6,000 square metres of grass will be laid across the playing surface to breathe new life into the facility. Aiming to be completed by April, management are confident they'll be ready for the beginning of the 2020 football season.
I think not only the footy coaches but the players themselves will be very excited to get out there and give it a good workout, but they're looking forward to it.
Works will continue after the grass has been laid, with extra maintenance required to ensure it grows and remains healthy. Time to look at what's biting in the Spencer Gulf this weekend. Here's Fishing Tips.
G'day and welcome to this week's Fishing Tips from Port Augusta, Jewel of the North. Well, last chance to get the kids out there. Plenty of crabs around at the moment, although they are a bit varying in size though, but they're full of meat. Lots of silver whiting as you'd expect this time of year. Try the low tides over in the Flinders Channel and the high tides along the shack. Garfish this time of year pretty good. If you get one of those nice calm nights, go try a bit of dabbing for those. And there's a few snook around. Some people have been getting them, some people haven't, but try up around Port Patterson. That's all we have from the Jewel of the North.
Welcome to another week around the Gulf Fishing Tips in Port Pirie. I'm so excited at where we are at this particular moment. The blue swimmer crabs have come in. We've got some nice sizes happening throughout the area. Port Augusta right through to Wallaroo. They're really fantastic. Yellowfin whiting has started to come on board. Now First and Second Creek around our Port Pirie area, and also if you go to Talawi Beach and Barrows Beach, you'll find them on the incoming. Now the weather's been a bit cooler lately, so they might have dropped off a little bit, but don't be dissuaded, just go out there and try again because they will come back, and I reckon you'll have nice sort of numbers with them. Now I've got to tell you a little bit of a brag over the weekend. Went to Sajuna, got 9 tuna over the weekend. Not very big, but I tell you what, a lot of fun, but a lot of rough water in between them. Thank you, we'll see you next week.
G'day and welcome to this week's Fishing Tips in Port Lincoln. Starting down here in Port Lincoln, there's still a few kingfish around the town jetty. There's a few tommies in the marina too, but they're pretty spread out throughout the bay. There's also been a few garfish around the bay at the moment too. Down south, the tuna have been starting to fire up. There seems to be a lot more bait in the area, so a little bit more bird life, and the schools have been easier to locate. Moving over to Coffin Bay side, the salmon, trout, garfish and tommies have been doing really well in the bay. There's been a few flathead and tommies in the area too. Moving offshore from Coffin Bay, there's been plenty of fish out around the islands. The tuna have been really good the last 2 weeks, and there's been some kingfish and Samson fish out there too. That's about it for this week. We'll see you again next week.
Weather now, and it's looking like a great long weekend to be outdoors. Here's Britt with the details.
Thanks, John, and good evening. It's been a mild day with scattered showers about coastal areas remaining mostly fine elsewhere. Broken Hill reached a top of 31 degrees, Port Augusta 27, Whyalla and Port Pirie both 24, Port Lincoln 18. Here's a look at today's satellite images where you can see the thick cloud streaming over the coast with a cold front generating showers and light rain mainly about coastal areas. Moving on to tomorrow now, and we'll start with the Gulf waters. Westerly winds tending to the southwest at 15 to 20 knots with seas around 3 metres. And we'll have exactly 14 hours of daylight with sunrise at 6:31 and sunset at 8:31. Mild but mostly sunny conditions on the forecast. 29 the top for Port Augusta and Corn, Woodner 28, Broken Hill, Port Pirie and Cleve all expected to reach 27 degrees, Kadina 26, Whyalla 25, Clare 24, Port Lincoln 22, Coffin Bay 20. Looking ahead to the weekend, mostly fine days expected at Port Lincoln and Clare with similar temperatures to tomorrow. Woodner sunny on Saturday, partly cloudy on Sunday. A sunny start to the weekend at Whyalla ahead of a partly cloudy day on Sunday. Port Augusta warm and sunny across the weekend with maximums in the mid-30s. Kadina looking mostly fine Saturday and Sunday. And finally, a sunny weekend on the way for Port Pirie, Clare and Broken Hill. And John, that brings us to the end of the forecast. It's back to you.
Thanks, Britt. And that's the local news this Thursday evening. Thanks for joining us. We'll be back tomorrow night, but until then, enjoy your evening. On behalf of the team, it's good night.